You got a disclaimer?
No, we do not.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. Okay, let me share my screen, right? Okay, we are live on YouTube. How are we doing out there? Let me get the disclaimer going real quickly. Okay, while we get started, I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and read that. I'm not gonna read it out loud, but there is risk involved with all kinds of investing and trading. Isn't that right? So let me leave that up there for a few seconds. How are we doing, Tanya? Can you hear me? Yeah. All good, my man?
Yep.
All right, it's myself, Gino Poor with TacticalTrading.com. Been trading for over 20 years, bringing you the hottest 5G stock picks. We got some people logging in, so we'll give them a few more minutes. But while I do that, let me just bring up YouTube Live here. Got some great stuff to go over. And we got some people logging in. Let me see how they're doing. Okay. And are we live now, Kenyon? We're good?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second here, just bringing up some notes. And I'm just gonna go over my notes with you and show you what I'm looking at. That way we can all be on the same page. Okay. So give me a second here. And we're on a little bit of a delay, so I'm just waiting for a few others. Okay, we're good. I'm ready. How's everybody doing out there? And yeah, you can type in some questions in the YouTube chat box down there on the bottom right if you guys see it. Okay, and we're good. I'm ready. All right, we are streaming. How you doing out there, Tri? Linda. Hey, Hero. Nice to see you, my man. All right. Linda Vasquez is here. Awesome. We got some Tackle members here. This is TacticalTrading.com. Check out our website. And if you've never tried it, now is the time. Who's here because they want to catch the next best and greatest 5G stock? Right? Looking for that home run, right? Kirsten and Charles, nice to have you. So let's get started. Got a lot to go over, and then Noah's going to jump in here. You guys know Coach Noah, Master Technalysis. We call him Master Trader Noah. I'm known as Theta Maker, the option trader. And we have a lot of us have great systems how to play different stocks. I'm going to talk to you, number one, as a trader, and then I'm going to distinguish that from an investor. So if you're taking notes, which you should real quickly, there's a big difference between trading and investing. Now, when people say they want the next best, biggest, greatest 5G stock, we're going to go over all that. But what does that mean? Do they want to invest in it and hold it for the lifetime? Or are you just in it for the home run, the big move? And there's a lot of companies out there. I'll give you some great ideas. I'll show you how to build your watch list. And most importantly, how to trade it. Not just which stock, but there's many, not just 5G, but all the different industries, how to trade, how to manage your investments, how to put in stop losses, that kind of thing. I'll show you how to access that And that's what we're here for, by the education. So it's not just about the picks, it's about the education. So you guys ready? You ready for this? I'm going to go in a couple minutes of exactly what is the 5G revolution. And then I'm going to go into how to build a watch list so you can keep that watch list, and how you can make sure you don't miss that high flyer. So there's going to be a lot of stocks. How many stocks do you guys think I have in my watch list for 5G? Just give me an idea. Companies that are going to most likely benefit from 5G. At least one or two, right? If you know me, I've got a lot of companies I manage, but it's amazing how I don't let the big fish get away. I'll show you how to grab onto those. Yeah, about 100. But how many of those am I going to actually trade? Probably 3 to 4, maybe 5. Maybe 5. So how do I know which 5 those will be? And it might be 3 or 5 stocks this week or this month, and a different set the following month. How active do you want to be? That's the question. So real quickly, let me just get you all plugged into what the 5G revolution is. But first, I have a question, a little survey. How many people here believe the 5G is going to be the next best, biggest thing? Or if you think, nah, it's just another, we had 1G, 2G, 3G, all this, we're on 4G now. It's just going to be a slight bump in technology. It's not going to be that big of a wave. Do you think it's going to be something like, I don't know, the dot-com bubble? Do you think it's going to be like the solar stocks? Do you think it's going to be a big move like the pot stocks, the whole marijuana craze? How about electric cars? Do you think it'll be like Bitcoin? What level do you think it'll be? Based on those, will it be bigger than those? About the same? Where would you put it? Of course, it'll make a slight bump. Okay, so the way, now that's the first step. Rank it 0 to 10 versus other trends. And remember, that's what you're shooting for. If you're shooting for a 10, 20% move, I think that's doable, right? On these companies, depends on the company. But you're going to have to think differently and take more risk if you're going for that company that you think will go from $2 to 2,000. Does that make sense? So to give you an idea, and not trying to sell you on how big this movement's going to be, because I personally have my own opinions on the 5G, but I don't want to reflect those on you. But I'll give you some facts on how it could be big, and you can decide from there. Fair enough? So I'm not selling you on the 5G movement. I'm just selling you on what's a possible bubble or wave. Now, when I say bubble, what happens to bubbles? They grow and get big and big and big, and then what happens to them? Now, okay, I'm looking at your ratings here, 7, 8, okay, good. They burst, they pop, you got it, bubbles pop. So can you guys see my notes on here? Now, I'm not going to give you a fancy PowerPoint. I'm not going to give you a bunch. I'm just going to throw out some notes because I want to jump into the good stuff. I don't want to do a fancy PowerPoint with logos and all these banners. I didn't put a lot of time into this because there's a lot of industries out there that I follow. I follow over 100 different industries. This is kind of a new industry. But what I want to do is I want to show you guys not only the picks, but I want you to recognize something beyond that. How I go about finding them. Number one, how to find them. Number two, how to organize them. And the big one, write this in big capital letters, how to trade them. I have so many students and so many people coming up to me and saying, hey, Gino, what's the next big 5G stock? What do you think of Apple? What do you think of Gilt? What do you think of the satellite company? What do you think of American Tower? What do you think of, I don't know, NVIDIA? And I'd say, I don't know, I've got them on my list. I've got them watching them. I like them at this price. And they go, so how should I trade it? Robinhood, Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade, Option Express, what broker? So do you see the disconnect there? You feel like you're missing out on something big, and I get it. I get it. I did the same thing in 1999 with the dot-coms. So I jumped into any broker. but you have to know from A to Z what you're doing. So not just Robinhood or whatever broker you're using, Interactive, you have to know if you're doing it right and the pluses and minuses of each. Like I like to do options, therefore I use a different broker. So we will show you, if you need that, how to get started on which brokers to use. You can use any broker you want, but we'll show you how to do it step by step and hold your hand. We are a community. And at the end of this little lesson here, I want to show you a way where if you're not part of our pro members, we'll give you a couple weeks free to jump into all of our watch lists, not just our 5G revolution. And by the way, I noticed a lot of students are here we have pro members. Pro members, Mary Stankus is here. How do you guys, what's your guys' feelings on tackle trading? Just out of curiosity. This isn't scripted or anything. We just shoot from the hip and tell it like it is. We're traders. What do you think of tackle trading? I want to see these comments. And by the way, while you're here, go ahead and follow us and like us on the video. It's real easy. Just left click the thumbs up. Definitely don't hit the thumbs down. You've learned a lot. Awesome, Ben. Worth every penny. Thank you. Love it. It is a community, isn't it? How many coaches are there that you've counted? I know how many, but how many have you counted? So we have a lot of different systems. Now, next question. How many people have been kind of round up or sucked into a presentation online or email? The best 5G stocks, the best time to buy Tesla, the best time to do this stock or the next bubble, Bitcoin. You go there and they tell you they're going to give you the picks, but what do? They let you know it's thousands of dollars to get their service, right? That's not going to happen here. No, we don't do that. That's not what we're in the business. It's about education. So what I want you to also to notice, the fourth thing is not 3 was how to trade. Number 4, we're here to teach you, not give you picks, but teach you so you can reproduce this very easily and save yourself thousands of dollars on misleading ads that are out there. I get tons of them in my email. I get tons in my regular snail mail. And I can't believe the prices on these. Our goal here at Tackle is education at a very affordable price. So you guys, if you're not pro members, we definitely want you to try it for free for a couple weeks. Thank you for that. I love that praise we just got right there I like that. Thank you very much. Okay, what is the 5G revolution? Now, if you've missed out and you haven't been keeping up with it, I'm just going to give you a 1-minute breakdown of this, okay? 1 sec. Okay, so the rumor or theory, as you can see in my notes, this new upgraded technology is the new wave of technology. Will send certain stocks to new highs that can double, triple, or be 10-fold times your money, right? So a lot of advertisers on the internet that know you have a stock account or while you're here, they're trying to lure you that you're missing out on this big move. What I'm going to teach you is one of the characteristics of a trader and a good investor like Warren Buffett. They use this patience and timing signals. So what is this technology they're talking about? This next generation of wireless. I mean, I'm pretty happy with what I've got so far. Do I need it? Well, this next generation 5G is 100 times faster than current 3G and 4G technology. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but there's a big difference between 3G and 4G. And it really bothers me when I drive into a city that's 3G, right? It drains your battery, doesn't it? And there's a really slow lagging stuff. So if you have a phone, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm pretty happy with 4G. Why do we need to change? Why is this going to be a big change? And why do they think that stocks can double and triple? Why is that? Because it's supposed to be such a big change that companies are going to profit and everybody's going to need this product. It's like a new product. So it's not a new product. It's just an upgraded product. So how big will this be? We'll ask you at the end. It's up to you. It's your decision. But we'll find out. We'll find out when we see if and when we see the stocks move that we're going to look at. So why is it going to be a big change? Let's look at what's going to be new. 5G is going to change the current standards in many ways. Now, standards are the norm, right? So first off, towers. There's a lot of different ways they send the signal, and that's what it's about. But also, there's a lot of different industries. There's the towers that throw the signals to the hardware. The hardware then has software that unscrambles, decodes, and protects it, and even the frequencies. There's devices that hold the software and hardware. And there's a huge infrastructure in place that has to be monitored, and networks. There's so many different things. There's circuitry, chips, plastic, manufacturers, patents, licenses. There's so many businesses involved in this industry. So a lot of those have to change. They have to upgrade quite a bit. Therefore, there are many companies involved, not just one. So what does this tell you as a trader? This tells you that there isn't really just one pick, but I'm going to show you how to actually challenge that. There is a couple ways you can trade the industry as one ETF, exchange traded fund, but there are companies that have to change. Now, what does that mean? They have to change their products to be part of this 5G revolution. They have no choice. And there are many companies that will benefit from the technology, and they're going to monetize from them, like Netflix, cell phone carriers. So they are going to look forward to having better products because of the 5G. Now, for some companies, if they do not adapt to 5G, it'll be make or break. Do you guys remember a company called Kodak? Kodak. You guys remember that company? They were the leader of film, right? They took a long time to adapt to digital photography. Does anybody know what happened to Kodak? As an investor, you probably do know, right? That was a huge company, wasn't it? There's really only two I dealt with back in my early days in the 90s. That was Kodak and Fuji. Yeah, they should have changed. They didn't change fast enough. For an example, AT&T is putting billions of dollars into 5G technology because they're so big, Verizon and AT&T, they know if they don't adapt to it, they will be a dinosaur. And you've seen that with a lot of tech companies. So this is not only good information for to know who the high flyers are, but you always want to protect yourself. You want to make sure you're not holding a company in your portfolio that might be a dinosaur that's not keeping up. So if you're an investor, check your portfolio, make sure you don't have a company that is out of touch with research and development. Find out how much they're spending in this technology. So how exactly will it change things? A little history, 2G. You guys remember 1990, the brick phones. Did anybody have a brick phone? I did. I loved it. Do you know I made my first online cellular trade with the brick phone? I called it in outside of a lobby of a hotel on a brick phone. And I remember it was an Apple trade, ticker symbol AAPL. Now that's back in the 90s. It had a great signal, but it did one thing. It made phone calls. Now, who dominated in the stock industry back then? Sprint, ticker symbol S, and Ericsson, ticker symbol ERIC. In fact, I believe Ericsson, I'm not exact, you go look at the chart, they went from like $4 to nearly $90 during the 2G movement. Was that a home run right there? If your stock went from 4 to 90, would you be happy with that? Nokia. Yeah, Nokia. You had the Nokia 8100. And by the way, it did more than one thing. You know what else it did? If you're parked on a hill, you could put it under your tire and your car won't roll backwards. Right? Also is a good weapon. You could throw it. Now, then came 3G. Now, 3G was a huge change because of this word right here. What's that word? Apps. Apps were added to phones. Now they can do just more than phone calls. You had calculators. But the big thing was text. Text. Who remembers the big, addictive, what do they call it? What do they call the BlackBerry phone? What was the BlackBerry phone called? It was so addictive. Come on, I know you guys know it. What was it? Everybody had one. And once you started texting, you got hooked. And when you're hooked, they called it what? A crackberry. Yeah, Ericsson actually went to 117 because now you were hooked and there were certain apps that were being sold. So think about this, new jobs, new companies, people were creating apps. There was a space for those. People were buying them. People were making millions on apps, all because it got faster. 3G was way faster than 2G. The signal was better. You can actually start streaming videos to your computer, right? Then what happened in was it 4G here? 4G. When that came out, it was currently, now that's 10 years old already. It's already 10 years old, 4G. It's 10 times faster than 3G. Now, was there a big jump from 3G to 4G? Yes or no? Was there a big jump? Actually, you probably didn't realize it unless you're in the trading business or in the technology space. But there is a huge change from 3G to 4G. Now, when you understand how big it was from 3G to 4, from here, 3G to 4G, it's 10 times faster than 3G. Now, it's not just the phone that got faster. A rise of more businesses came about. A rise of new technologies, companies, jobs. Do you guys remember what happened? What changed? 4G changed a lot of way business is done. Why? First of all, they had to upgrade the signal towers to handle the signal. Bigger, better, stronger towers. Now, what companies were behind those? American Tower, CCI, that's Clear Channel, DLR. There's a few tower companies out there that dominate the space and they rent out their property. So they're kind of like a real estate investment also. So because of the faster real-time streaming, this gave rise to new ideas, new ways of business who could actually use the technology to monetize their business. Now think about this. If you haven't already, Uber. Did 4G help Uber? Could Uber actually do what they do on 3G? No, because what's the big difference on Uber? The live streaming, knowing where your car is, right? It makes Uber interactive at real time. You don't get that in taxi cabs. So notice that certain taxi companies and transportation companies are finally adapting to what Uber saw. It's the technology in their app. How about Roku? Do I need to plug in my phone? Or excuse me, do I need to plug in my TV with a Roku TV? Or can I just stream movies? That's one less wire, right? Did it change Netflix? Do I need to mail away for my movies anymore? In fact, Roku skipped the whole mailing thing, didn't they? Because of 4G. Netflix is now, because of 4G, able to stream 1080 pixel. Because you had to choose between 720 and 1080. Do you guys remember that? Airbnb, right from your phone. You can download an app and look at pictures and videos, real estate, all because of 4G. A lot of things you can do with 4G that you could not do in 3G. But a lot of businesses that rely on 4G, they would not be around with 3G. How about FaceTime? Do you remember how laggy FaceTime was on 3G? It didn't work really, right? It didn't work. Meetings online were horrible, like GoToMeeting. And it wasn't GoToMeeting's fault. It was actually the 3G streaming. And some people are still stuck on 2G. How about this? Faster cloud storage. Do you guys notice you're storing things faster to the cloud now if you're on a 4G? Gaming. Has it changed the gaming industry? Online gaming. You don't play against a computer. You play against your neighbors. I could play against somebody on the other side of the planet in real time because the streaming is so fast. How about Dropbox? Dropbox is able to do what? Sell you bigger amounts of storage because they know you'll drop bigger things in there now. I mean, it was hard to drop a gig or a movie or your files or a business to store things in Dropbox. Who wants to download a terabyte all day long, right? So It's really changed things. Now, 5G is going to be even 10 times to 100 times faster. So what does this mean? 5G is going to bring about new signal towers. Now, they're not just towers. These are boxes on light poles. So it's a whole new, brand new technology. There's going to be brand new chips in there, hardware, structure. There's going to be rental spaces. They got to go to the city and get the spaces to put these places. They got to be strategically placed in the network, the infrastructure. And they're still the same players basically in there, AMT, CCI, and DLR. Have you guys wrote those down already? Now, President Trump is pushing what? Trillions of dollars on infrastructure bill. Now, if you read into it, it's roads, bridges, and what else? Wi-Fi and areas focused at 5G. So when the government is spending trillions of dollars to go to that new infrastructure, you know those companies are going to benefit. They're getting that money. So what companies are they picking? I'll show you a way to find those. Now, also, do you think Trump wants to use American companies or Chinese companies? What do you guys think? If you've been watching the news, what do you think? He only wants to use American companies that have been vetted and trustworthy. Why? Because we're dealing with infrastructure, Wi-Fi, and cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a big part of it, isn't it? So that's another wave we'll talk about the next time, how to find good cybersecurity companies. Now, just to give you a breakdown, how long did it take to download a movie in 3G? Hours? The same movie in 4G takes less than an hour, right? You can download a movie to your phone or your computer. Think about this. 5G, you'll be able to download a movie in minutes. Now, I saw a test done, and it was less than 7 minutes. It was a 2.5-hour movie, 3-hour movie. And there's quite a few gigs. Pretty impressive, right? Now, the thumb drives are going to have to adapt to that too if you're going to carry those with you, and your phones, storage companies. Businesses, we have a pandemic going on right now. So if you're watching this in the future, we are locked down at our houses. But guess what? People are starting to realize in businesses, and this is coming from a thing I read earlier, about 30% of jobs can be done from home, especially if they have faster online communication. So companies are starting to realize they can invest in the 5G and speed up your 5G network, your home network, versus pay for your office space and your parking and sometimes your lunches. They don't even need you at the building. They don't need as big of buildings, and they could go worldwide. Now think about it. Has anybody ever heard of Zoom? That's what I'm on right now. I'm on Zoom. Has that company taken off because of this pandemic from people working out of home? Yes or no? How about Slack? People are getting away and doing more of a business type communication, not Facebook, but Slack, Workday, Dropbox. Notice everybody's starting to store things in Dropbox, and it's convenient if it's fast. Nobody wants to sit around and try to download something that takes an hour, right? In fact, this whole presentation that I'm doing here will be about an hour, hour and a half. Right now on 4G, it'll take us about 20 minutes to upload it. But if it's 5G, probably less than a minute. So we'd be able to do more of these a day. Now, what about the gaming industry? Do you think it will help the gamers? How about VR? Do they need high definition? Do they need big streams? What about meetings? Are meetings going to be more convenient? How about sharing large data in files? It's all about conveniency. That's what technology does. Advancing to the future, right? How about storing on the cloud? Are we going to need cloud storage even more? That's another industry and another watch list, cloud. So there's a lot of industries that are going to benefit. Now, this is the big one, guys. I have a friend who's in this business, virtual reality. Even if you're not using it yet, it is huge. It's going to allow you to meet anywhere like you're in person. With a little headset or virtual reality room, you can go visit friends and family in hospitals. Think about that. Isn't that safer? Like right now, they won't even let you go in a hospital because they're worried about the virus. But wouldn't you like to visit certain people in the hospital? Isn't it safer for the doctors? Would you like to have more than one doctor visit you when you're in the hospital? Virtual reality. How about sports arena? Not too many people really excited about going to a full Taylor Swift concert right now with 100,000 people. But if the ticket was only $20 and you could do it on a virtual reality headset, would you go? And you have front seat? How about the not only concerts, but how about the Super Bowl? If you, especially if you don't want to deal with the crowds, but you want to be a part of the crowd, how about hosting a Super Bowl party in virtual reality? These are things of the future, but they're already here. I've seen them tested. People are already using them. The only thing that slows it down is the speed. So the 5G is going to make that all break through. So it's a new way of like a GoPro. How about this? How would you like to be able to watch your kids skiing in Switzerland from your house because they've got the camera on their hat and streaming it to you in real time in 8K? So it's 3D and you feel like you're the one skiing. See, it's a new reality. It's a way that we're going to cut the cords and make it more convenient. Does anybody here have an 8K TV yet? There's going to be, now when everything starts streaming in 8K, you're going to have 5G. So you will be left behind. It's going to go. Now, how fast will it go? Will there be companies? Here's the right questions you need to ask. It's not about, will it be a big movement? What you need to know is this: when do I buy the stocks? Now or wait? What do you guys think? Do we buy the stocks now or do we wait? And I'm going to ask this question at the end because I know what most of you are going to say. How do we identify the best players? How do we trade them? These are questions people ask me. What exactly or exact industry focus will be the big mover? Do you guys think it'll be the towers? Do you think it'll be the signals, the guys with the frequencies? Do you think it'll be the hardware? Or will it be software? And by the way, will it be a big software company or one that's just focused on 5G? Will it be like an Apple that does a little bit of everything? Or will it be a certain company that specializes in one thing? What devices? Will it be the phones? Will it be the gaming consoles? Will it be the Oculus virtual reality headsets? How about infrastructure? Do you even know what companies are in infrastructure? David said, can you get stocks on layaway? Yes, David, you can. That's called options. You know that. Let me show you a simple system. Save your money for the right time. Don't guess. Somebody type that in. Don't guess. Don't guess. Let the demand and big money show you which stocks. They will pop their heads up and show you who they are. It will be very clear when it takes off. You guys will be high flyer pickers, okay? I'm going to type this in. I always do this in my meetings because I want to make sure people see this. Do not pay for someone's guess. What does that mean? Do not pay for someone's guess. There are a lot of people telling you which companies to invest in right now, aren't they? And they're telling you, hey, I nailed it with Apple. I nailed it with Tesla. I nailed it with Bitcoin, aren't they? Those weren't the only companies they picked. I could give you a bunch of stock picks too. And I guarantee some days, some of them will be right. And you could brag about the ones you picked. But those same people that sell you stock picks for thousands of dollars, why don't they just go and invest in the stock if they want the money? Watch out for the sharks because you're going to get a lot of people. So a lot of you guys here that are brand new, you're probably getting so many people's so-called fund managers, hedge fund managers throwing out big names. And honestly, they really don't know. They really don't know because I know some of them. I know a lot of these guys. I've mentored over 400 people one-on-one. I've taught thousands around the country how to trade. I've talked to people on CNBC, some of the biggest gurus, and they're going to tell you, do not pay for someone's guess. Do it yourself. So you guys ready to do it yourself? I'm going to show you how to do it. It's not hard. It's very easy. I've already done 90% of the work. The rest is up to you. You guys ready? Okay, here we go. Now, by the way, I'm going to let you download all this stuff tomorrow on our site. because I have a lounge, a live show every day on tacticaltrading.com. Our coaches are on there every day, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day, live shows like this, showing you how to do this and tracking these big moves for you. So here we go. What I want to show you real quickly is, let me show you this real quick. Let me see here. This is Bitcoin. You guys see Bitcoin? Do you guys remember Bitcoin? Was that a big bubble? Was that a big move? Isn't that what we're looking for here? So check this out. This is what you have in the back of your mind, right? You're thinking this big move right there. Do you see that? That's what we want. That's what we want. You definitely don't want this, do you? Now, what are we shooting for? Are we shooting for this right here? I'll call that A. Are we shooting for this kind of stuff in here, B? Or are we shooting for this, C? Which one do you want? A, B, and excuse my drawing because I'm using my mouse. Which one do you want? A, B, or C? What are we shooting for? Now, there's a different way to trade each one of those. This presentation, we are shooting for the high-flying breakouts. This is what we call a breakout. Okay, let me give you another example. Who did not see that? I want to give you another example. Okay, I want to give you a couple more examples. How about Tesla? Here's Tesla. Now, Tesla goes back. I'm going back to 2016, right here, 2016 on Tesla here. And I'm on a daily chart, but what I want to show you is this. Is Tesla a good investment? Is this what we're shooting for, all this right here? Or are we shooting for this right here? A or B? Now I'm going to give you a technical, this is key. This is going to answer the question when to buy the stock. Now, aren't you glad you didn't buy Tesla back here and wait for it to go up and wait for it to go up? Do you guys notice a big difference in here? Everybody knew this would be the future of electronic cars, but you see this line? This is called major resistance. What changed is all these tops right here. I want to show you something real closely. I'm going to actually put this on a weekly chart. Now, when I go to a weekly chart here, I'm going to show you this line, and this is the top of the price. See, Tesla was already expensive. Right here, this is when it hit those tops. What was the problem here? It was having a hard time getting over this $380 price level. Okay, it was having a hard time. What we're in it for is not this move. You guys see this move right here? From here to here? That's a good, now you'd be happy if you, would you be happy if you bought it here and sold it there? Yes or no? Would you be fine with that? Now I'm going to give you some stats. We're not going to go into the stats, but we've already done this for you. Down here, it's $188. So down here, it's $180 right here. That's right there. Okay. And it went up to where? Almost 1,000, right? Is it possible? Is it possible it could have done this and went back down? Is it possible it could have stayed under that level right there another 2 or 3 times? Yes or no? Now, the stock was already at $300, bouncing between 180 and 300. Why? Why was the stock at 350 and it would almost cut in half. That's a huge drop right there, right? You do not want to have your money in a roller coaster like this. Let me repeat, you do not want your money in a roller coaster like that. What finally happened is, do you see this week right here? The people buying the stock decided not to sell it. Why? Because something triggered it where they said, hey guys, this is the future. This is the future. Someday, here's the day. This is what we call a BO. A BO. Now, what's a BO? Breakout. Breakout. Now, breakouts are very powerful signals because you're already watching a company that has a lot of rumors behind it, a lot of hype about the technology. And when it breaks multi-highs, that is your signal. Now, check this out. Remember I was talking about odds? The odds of it going from here to here, right there, those odds right there are so much better than the odds of it going from here to there. Why is that? Somebody tell me. Why are the odds of the yellow line right here of the breakout signal? Why is this breakout signal stronger than picking the bottom? Why is this stronger? Why is it more predictable when it does that? Does anybody know? Now, once you understand the psychology behind charting, you'll understand why charting works. The confirmation of what though? Momentum. You got it, Linda. You see, what happened was when they started trading at these prices, isn't that price higher than higher than the previous history here? When people are finally, traders and investors are willing to pay a higher price than they did in the past, that signals strong demand. Also, there's no resistance up here. There's nobody trying to dump it and sell when it hits the top of the channel. So you got a lot of people that trade, buy here. They're trading this channel. They buy down here and they sell here. They buy down here, they sell here. They buy down here. These guys try to sell right here, right? When they clear out those traders, there's nobody left to sell. And these are the people going, oh, new highs. So companies, now write this down. Most companies that make a new high usually continue to make a few more highs before they sell off. Now, next lesson. When it sells off, you do not want to be a part of that. Notice it came back and tested that and it came back up. So what we're looking at is the trend, the theories, the rumors, the technology to break out. It's going to over exaggerate and then it's going to sell off when other companies join the race. What's another company out there that you guys can think of that I can show real quick? How about ACB? Remember the marijuana stocks? Okay, notice all this back here. Do you want to be part of this down here? Or do you want to wait for the breakout? Notice the breakout. This was all hype and rumor, right? What's another one? Somebody else have another one? Tilray, same thing. Tilray, good. That was the marijuana stocks. That was the most. See, Tilray took a while for the stock to go public, but see, if these are weekly. Let me go back to a daily so I can show you. I'm going to go back to a daily. See all this back here. Let me go back. I think I could go back a little bit farther. Is it over 5 years? I'll go back 10 years because it's fairly new. See, that took off, but it was late to the party. All of this, though, that's a whole year your money did nothing. Here's your breakout right there. That's your breakout. Do you guys see it? The new highs. How about First Solar? How about this one, guys? You ever heard of this company? And they're back on the list, Qualcomm. I'm going to go to a weekly chart. And I'm going to go back in time, the .com. They were the high flyer of the .com. Check out. Do you want to sit in Qualcomm? Now, this was also, they were doing all the routers. This is back in 1992. When did it finally take off? Do you guys see the breakout right there? I'm going to zoom into this so you guys can see it, okay? Check this out. Here's the breakout. Now, what's a breakout? When it's making new highs above resistance. So I'm going to go right there. Was that a good tip? See how it took off? Boom. Is it okay if it breaks out right here too? Is that another one right there? How about when it consolidated right here? Is that another breakout right there? Do you guys see the breakouts, yes or no? That one, and down here. Do you see it? And notice when it breaks out, you see this blue line right here? It stays above that. It stays above it. When it goes below that, what should I do? Should I stay in there? Yes or no? That blue line is a moving average. We'll give those to you also. Well, and by the way, we'll just send you a link and you're going to get all these signals on your chart. What do you do when it breaks that moving average right there? What do you do? Probably a good idea to dump it. It's losing momentum because this is what we call a momentum play. Momentum play means companies that are going to benefit hugely now and mostly in the future. So people grab their money when they start doubling and tripling it and they get out. Now that's happened a lot with Qualcomm because they've been the backbone of a lot of companies, right? So here we go. Those are called breakouts. That is when you want to buy the stock. So far, so good. Noah heard the word breakout and he's here. Right on. So back to my list here.
Hey, Gino, could you start over? I just want to make sure I don't miss out. Oh, I'll just have to watch the replay, I guess. You're right. I heard breakout and I was on.
Right. So no, we are going over the breakouts. That's your signal to grab a momentum play. And so I'm just answering the question. You got all that, right, Noah? I'll send you the notes, Noah.
All right, I'll take them.
So the right questions here are this. When do I buy the stocks? Now or wait? What's the answer, guys? Do we buy them now or do we wait for the breakout? And check it out. Is it going to be a certain stock? It's most likely going to be one of the industries. Now, when I say industries, it could be the towers, it could be the signals, the hardware, the software, devices, infrastructure. It's going to be probably one of the industries. Now, what's nice is two things. We had a huge, well, not fundamentally, we got a huge pullback in the market. Why? Because of the pandemic, right? But when the pullback in the market came about, what did that do to the charts? Let me bring it up. I'm going to show you the market. I'm going to show you something called SPY. That's the S&P 500. This is where we were. We were making new highs on the market. The market, most stocks, the stock market. The benchmark of the stock market, here's the all-time high. You see the drop because of this pandemic that we're doing? Now we know where resistance is. So how do I know when we're breaking out and we recovered? When the market gets above this new high. What do we call that breakout of the new high? Somebody tell me that's brand new. Not our students. What do we call the BO? What is it called? A breakout, right? A breakout. Now, why are pullbacks good? Because now we know where the new high is. Now we know where the breakouts are. So how do I know when this is recovered? I simply, and most brokers do this, I just come in here, right click on that breakout area, and I create an alert, and I put market BO. Now, what does that mean? The market's breaking out. It's there. Now, I don't have to look at this every day. It's going to text to my phone, and it's going to be a 4G phone. Well, no, I actually got a 5G phone now. No, I got the Samsung 10. So I'll get the signal before you if you're still on an Apple 4G. So I'll know. I'll be in quicker than you because I got 5G, man. So now I have a signal in the market breaking out. Now I can do that with all the picks I'm going to show you. But what I did to make it easier is I want to show you something real quickly. I'm going to bring up what's called ETFs. Now, in these ETFs, these are ways to buy those different industries. So write these down. I'm going to give you a few of these. The first one you could buy is SMH. Now, SMH is a diversified fund you can buy. It's a symbol. Now, this isn't advice. I'm just giving you ideas. SMH is the semiconductors in the industry, the biggest. Now, there's 25 companies in this fund. So you buy one stock of SMH or 2 shares, whatever you want to buy. But it's just good to know that the top 7 holdings are 50% of the fund. Let me give an example of what that looks like real quickly on SMH. So when you buy SMH, you're buying a group of stocks. It's like a mutual fund. And that's the advantage of trading. Here is the breakdown of SMH. The number 1 holding is Taiwan Semiconductor. Number 2 holding is Intel. So if you put $100 in this ETF, 12% or $12 is going in Taiwan, 10% is going into Intel, $7.50 is going to NVIDIA. So right here are the companies you're actually buying when you just buy one. Isn't that better to hit the whole semiconductor versus trying to pick 1 or 2 of these? So this is your investor mentality. If you want to hit the whole semiconductor sector because you think semiconductors are going to benefit from 5G. Now, is there anybody here that thinks that Taiwan Semiconductor isn't going to be the biggest player? Maybe you think, I don't know, maybe you think Xilinx, because Xilinx is got a lot to do with 5G. Their main focus right now is 5G. What do you think? Would you want to buy this fund if you really were more interested in Xilinx? Yes or no? How about this? Could I buy a little bit of this fund, like a few $100s or so, like a certain percent of my portfolio, and add a couple of shares of Xilinx? Could I do that? Sure. So you see the fund. Now, when I say the first 7 holdings right here, let me go back. The first 7 holdings are 50%. So when you buy the first 7 here, here's Taiwan Semiconductor. It's a nice way to diversify, right? But the first 7 are 50%. Now, whoever built this, they're not just looking at 5G. They're looking at what's a better representation of the semiconductor sector, which one's going to do better. And because they're not really doing it on market cap, they're doing it based on what they believe is a better representation. Now, there's a lot of semiconductors here missing. I might want to buy those too. Okay, so that's one way to do it. What I like about that approach is this. I like that approach because I'm diversified. Don't have to worry about it going bankrupt. There's always going to be semiconductor companies you could put in there. And you're with the biggest companies out there. And it's optionable. So I could cash flow, I could buy puts, I could do different strategies. By the way, guys, if you want to get a breakdown of those, here's the links right here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put that in the YouTube chat. Now, you can keep up to date with the breakdown of those. And you can see, you know, oh, let me put the second one didn't pop in there right, did it? Okay, so there it is. I'm going to put this one separately in there. Now, real quickly, that is an ETF. That's one way to invest. Now, could ETFs double? Of course they could. Not as fast as a single stock, though, because there might be some laggards in there. Now, 5G, what's this ETF? This one has 77 holdings. It's not so much the semiconductors. This one here, look at the name of this ETF. It's 5G. Their main focus is only companies that deal with 5G stuff, technology. But the top 14 are 50%. Now, these are 5G focus-based companies, broad range of the chips, antennas, equipment, spectrum bands, hardware suppliers. The negatives, no options. So you have to put stop losses, and bad volume, not a lot of volume. And that could change if it gets popular though, right? As an investor and you want to hit the 5G, you're pretty diverse here. You're hitting everything right there, right? Now, I'll bring that one up real quick, but I'm not going to do it with all these ETFs. Here's the 5G list. And I'll put that link in here too. This is 5G. Got it right down there? So here's the breakdown. Nokia is the top pick. What I like to do is I like to go into all these ETFs and I like to build a watch list of the top 5 or 10. And that's usually where I get my watch list. See how these are the top? You guys see that? 5%. So this one goes all the way down to American Tire. I'll be watching these pretty closely because they're putting a lot of weight where? Nokia, Analog, Qualcomm, Ericsson. So they got a hardware in here. They got the modem, software, semiconductors, infrastructure. They got a lot of stuff in here, right? And then they got their second string picks down here. And if you go to the bottom, there's some I might not like KT. I don't even know what this company is, but it's a 0.5% of the holding. I'd have to do some research. But you know what I like about this? How do I know when the 5G is finally taken off? Could I do this? Could I put 5G on the chart? Somebody tell me, how would I know? What's my signal on the chart that this is finally taken off? Right now? Or do you see this? What do we call this little area right here? What's this? Resistance? That's the good thing about a pullback. We now have what's called a double top up here. And I'm going to go to time frame. I'm going to go 10 years here. Now I'm going back 10 years because look, this only started when? It started in 2019, the stock. Do you see the level of resistance here? And there's quite a bit of resistance here too, isn't there? See that? So when do I know that this 5G technology is taken off? This is key right here. When do I know it's actually a thing, whether I like it or not? I'm going to put my signal right here on the breakout. Now, how many places have told you something like that? Now I don't have to worry about buying a stock right now and having my money sit there, because is it possible? Is it possible? And I'm going to let Noah answer this. Noah, has this ever happened to you where you think it's going to break out and it just does this and goes nowhere?
No, Gino, that has never, ever happened to me ever. Because all I do is win. No, I'm just kidding. That's happened to me many, many, many times, and it's frustrating is what it is.
But here's the hard question, Noah. Do you ever feel like I should have bought down here?
Oh yeah, hindsight. Yeah, of course. Like, woulda, shoulda, coulda. It's like, just get me a time machine and I'm there.
But after you've been burned so many times with it stuck in here and never breaking out, you're starting to realize there's other things to invest in until it gets to the breakout area.
Oh yeah. Breakout. Okay, hey, look, let me put it to you this way, Gino. When it breaks to a new high, it's time to buy.
That's right.
It rhymes. It helps. It's a memory hook. You always won't forget it. Breaks to a new high, time to buy.
So that's the 5G. You guys got that one in the right. The next one is focused on what? Even more diversified, 99 holdings. This one's very evenly weighted. Most of the companies there are only 2% or less, but it's focused a lot on REITs. Now, what does this mean? Now, REITs, this is next G, stands for next generation. Now, these aren't really good volume and not really good with options. So again, you'd have to buy this like a stock. But look, you're getting 99 stocks by buying one symbol. But what this one's focused on here.
I got 99 stocks.
99
Intel's
stocks.
one of them. Wait, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that sounded cool. So when you see this word REITs right here, REITs, that means they also are making money from some kind of real estate investment. For example, one of them here, like American Tower, they rent out a lot of their space for the towers to other companies and they get rental income. Kind of like McDonald's makes money on the rent of their restaurants. So what happens is you get dividends, but they're not big high flyers a lot of times. They could be, but sometimes they aren't. And that's the thing is, do you want to be, you can see right away, these are all weighted pretty even, 2% on each stock. Your money's being distributed pretty evenly. They put a lot of favor in DLR. That's who they think is the best representation. But if you look at this, the top 10 holdings are really real estate holdings. Then you have telecommunications equipment. So this one here is a different part of the industry. This one here is focused on REITs and the towers, the infrastructure, that kind of thing. And then you have server. This one's 19 holdings. This one's focused on data, infrastructure, then real estate, cloud, digital, and interconnectivity. Now, this only has 19 holdings, not as many stocks, but notice the name is server. It's more to do with the data transmission, the servers, the storage. And here's those companies here. Again, I'm going to show you the top 5. Again, American Tower, CCI. Notice a lot of towers in here. Then you got other companies out here that are pretty small, but there's less of them. So it might be a bigger mover. It's not as diversified, 19 is not that many for a fund. Then you've got companies called Internet of Things. This ETF, now, by the way, I'm not here to sell ETFs. What I'm doing is I'm showing you ones I'm picking to track, because I might not even buy these ETFs, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing with them. It's a really cool system I've learned as a trader and from other mentors. SNSR is the Internet of Things. What's the Internet of Things? These are companies that benefit from the 5G, like Netflix. Remember Netflix? They're allowed to stream 8K and 4K with 5G. They're allowed to stream the 1080p much better and not have to mail you the disc anymore because of 4G. How about, what is it? Uber. They can do the real-time tracking of cars because of the faster following of the stream, the live streaming of gaming, VR, meetings. So the Internet of Things, companies that are going to benefit from 5G. Now, they're not actually building the products. They're not in the software. They're not in the hardware. They're not putting up towers. They're not in the licensing. They're more like the things that benefit. Does that make sense? Now, the negative of this one, again, no options, bad volume. Then there's one more I want to put in here, CHIC. What is CHIC? Chinese communication. This one here is a way that it's an ETF based on Chinese companies, Asian companies that are focused on 5G, like Tencent Holdings, China Mobile, NetEase, Baidu. Now, I'm keeping them separate, and I like them in an ETF. Why? Because remember what I said about what Trump said. He doesn't want outside foreign companies dealing with our infrastructure or our Wi-Fi on this new 5G technology. It's all about cybersecurity. He wants trusted American companies that can be invested. So me personally, after hearing that, the big government money on this trillions of dollars of infrastructure bill is probably going to go into American companies that are vented and have some kind of oversight, because we don't want somebody stealing. Communications is a big, big part of our defense system. They don't want to let a foreign company, no matter if it's China or anybody else, going in there and having control over the software, the towers, or any of our network. So, but here is a way to play those companies in one ETF. So you can track those too. So you don't have to look at just American companies. So how do we know when to jump in? So here are my ETFs I'm looking at. I like SMH because it's optionable. That's the main thing for me. It's huge chip companies. I like the global CHIC, CHI, that's the Chinese communication companies.
You know, people will buy it more if you pronounce it chic.
Chic?
Chic. It just sounds better. It's like Target, you know?
Okay, so
little she. All right, there you go.
Yep. So, and then I have some of my favorites that I like to trade all the time in and out of. So for me, this is just an example. I might do a little bit of a percent of the portfolio. I might dedicate, let's say 10% to the 5G space, put 2 or 3% in each of these. I might, not yet, I'll tell you when. I might go and buy extra shares of Marvel, Cirrus, Cuervo. These are internal plays for Apple, CMTL, which is a frequency play. These are semiconductors. For towers, I might pick one like CCI for my REIT play. For carriers and dividend, it might be Verizon or AT&T or both. One might be an investment, one might be a trade. Apple. Now for Apple to triple and quadruple, it's hard. It's easier for a smaller company. Ericsson and JBL have pulled back quite a bit. So it might be a no-name company that can double and triple better, but I might have a little bit of Apple in there just because Apple's going to launch their new here's the rumor, just a rumor, their new 5G phone coming out, hopefully after all this pandemic and released. It's supposed to be a real affordable one, like $400 or $300, and it is 5G capable. And guess who's going to want that? All your TikTokers, right? TikTok, that's another one that's going to benefit from 5G. All those people, all the stuff on 5G. You got all your gamers, Fortnite, all that stuff. So when Apple finally comes out with their own apps for 5G, they know that they can benefit from selling a bunch of these phones. And when you break that phone and look inside, you get companies like CRUS, QRVO, and a few others. So I've got a lot of those on my watch list. So once again, how do I know when these guys are time to buy? How do I know? So what I've done is I've done all the work, a breakout, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how what I do on a week-to-week basis. You can go to any software site out there. There's so many. I'm just going to show you what I've got these built on our site. But if you can't get in our site, I'll show you what I've done. I've put all my watch list and what's called, and these are my watch lists I go through on a weekly basis. Here's my 5G tops right here. See, these are my ones I'm watching on a daily basis. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these ETFs. Now, here's those ETFs I was just looking at. Now, remember, they're all in different industries, right? You guys see them down here? Let me change the color of that. So watch how easy this is. Let's time everybody here. I'm going to let you all take a breath and watch my screen. I want you to tell me if this is time to jump into the 5G revolution or not, okay? And we're going to look at Chic. And I'm going to start with actually 5G, right? I'm going to look at all these. Tell me if the craze, the breakout has happened. So they're already on this, and tomorrow in the lounge, guys, I'll show you how to set this up. In fact, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to copy this right here. I'm going to put this in the YouTube link. You guys can copy that and paste it in your browser. Let me know if this pops up just like that. And now you'll be ready for the 5G breakout. Now, tomorrow at the lounge, I'm going to show you how to put the picks in there. So let me know if that worked for you guys.
Yep, we just got it.
Cool. Did it work? Did it show you just like this? So follow along with me. This is what we're going to do. Ready? You see that little button that says charts right there? I'm going to go slow. And just so you know, we're about another 15, 20 minutes, guys, and we'll be done. Is that good, Noah?
Oh, yeah.
So you see the charts right here? What am I looking for before I go to charts? What am I looking for? I'm not playing all these stocks because I have a fear of missing out. I'm playing them when they finally break out. Okay, ready? Okay, watch this. I'm going to hit charts. There's all the charts. I'm actually going to hit basic because what it does is it puts the chart on the left and it puts the company on the right. So first question, I'm going to go slow because there's a delay on YouTube. Has this one broken out yet? Yes or no? It's down here at $22.
I'll take it above 23, maybe.
No. Now, wouldn't it be more exciting if it broke up here? Wouldn't that be something if it hit a new high? So this has another what? Quite a bit to go. Okay, so moving right along. How about this one here? A little bit closer. 5G. This is the conglomerate of most of them, right? Right here. So what do you guys think about this one? Is this one the highs up? Now I like this double top up here. Again, $27. Has that broken out? Yes or no? Nope. So see how I'm doing this? I'm just going down the major funds. I'm looking at the funds for my signal of those industries. Next tag. This is what? What is next generation? That is double top up here. This is why we like pullbacks. See, this was already trending up. This is hard to find a breakout, but this will tell us, right? So has this one broken out yet up here? Here's the resistance up here, right? Now I did that fat on purpose because you can do this one down here, but I actually like this big fat one up here. Why? So see the $58 here? Again, in case you missed it, I could just do this too. I don't have to check it every day. Remember I said I check this every day? Not really. Watch. I go to NSTG. See my mark here? I'll put that up here. There's my signal. 5G. See my mark? My mark on 5G is already up there. See it? And then I'm going to, does that make sense? So when it goes to my phone, SMH, is SMH broken out? Yes or no? Nope. SNSR? Nope. This is the Internet of Things. Remember companies that benefit? Nope. Now this is the spiders. This is the market. Why do I want to track this on all my trackings? This is the baseline because I want to see if these companies break out before the market does. Because if the market's breaking out, these are just false signals. This means I might as well stay with the market. You know, I want to see if these guys break out before the market. I want to see if they break out before the market. Okay, almost done here on my timing. Timing is everything. Okay, server's getting close. Noah, what do you think? Another $2?
It's getting there.
So I'm going to put server on here. So see, I can invest in other things. I can trade my money with other things until these guys get there. So server, I really needed to get above here. Now, let me just do this real quick. I'm going to put 9 months here, just so you can see better. There we go. I'm going to put my alert right there. I'm going to create alert. Now, every broker I know, I'm going to put this over $37. So the Internet of Things hasn't broken out. It's getting close, but my alert's there. So do I need to do this every day and look? No, I can wait for it to trim. Now here's another ETF, the communications. This is a S&P communications. I'm just kind of looking at this for a benchmark. Here's the technology sector. And here's XTL. This is the telecom ETF. So these are all ETFs that kind of deal with 5G, but the first one's Chick, 5G, NextTag, all those guys I already gave you in in that list, right? I already gave that to you right here. So once you have that in here, you can log in and you can save it as your 5G ETFs. Now, I've taken all those picks and I've put them in portfolios. So here's all those picks. Now I've got 3 portfolios of them because there's 150 and they only allow you 50 per portfolio. So what am I doing here? You see all these picks? What am I waiting for these companies to do? Somebody remind me. Am I waiting for them to stay sideways or break out? I'm waiting for them to break out, right? So check this out. What I'm waiting for is what's called a technical signal. You see this? Now, the signal I'm waiting for is called what? A new high? Is that right? I'm waiting for a new high. You guys all see this right here? It says 52-week high or low. This is on a lot of screeners, a lot of brokers. You can use anybody you want. I'm not trying to sell FinViz. This is a free service. I'm going to switch this to new highs. When I go to new highs, how many of my stocks in the portfolio are hitting new highs? Dexcom, 1. So the first 50 stocks I'm tracking, only 1 has a new high. That one's already trending up. How about my next set of 50? How about this? My third set of 50. Any new highs here? No new highs. How about my ETFs? Are my ETFs making new highs? Isn't that easier? Just I don't even need alerts. I just say which one of my ETFs are making new highs. Now, do you want to catch it after it's broken out, or do you want to catch it right before it breaks out? Isn't it nice to know right when it gets in this area? So here's the trick. I want to catch them when they're in this area here, and then I'm going to put my trigger right above it. You guys get it? Let me repeat that once again. Let's say I'm trading, give me a stock. Which one do you like, Noah? Which do you like of the whole list?
Oh, I don't know if I had an exact favorite.
How about Ericsson?
I'll take Ericsson.
You know what I like about Ericsson is
cheap.
All this resistance overhead here. It tells me where the top is. See this? So I'm on a year. I'm on a year right here. I'm going to go a year. Oh, I'm on 9 months. Hang on. I'm going to go in a year. So here's the annual high up here, right? I kind of want to know when Ericsson is about to break out so I can start watching it closer. And then what I'm going to do is, let me draw that again. I'm going to put my trigger right up here so when it breaks out, or I'll be ready when it does break out. So that way it doesn't get away from me and start going way up here. You know what I mean? So check this out. How do I find companies that are about, what would you say, 5% away? Is that good, Noah?
Yeah, that's good.
So about 5% below this breakout. So it's kind of a warning, right? Check this out. This is how you do it. As I'm going through here, I've already got Dexcom. I'm actually going through all my nobody's really breaking out the new highs. Now I'm going to go through the same list of stocks. Only one has a new high. What if I say they're somewhere between 0 and 5% below the high? Now I've got some that are about to break out. You guys see that there? So now when I go to the charts, I'm going to go to basic here. Now I can start looking for setups. Here's one. See the high right here, Amazon. How about this one? You guys see the breakout right here, CDNS? How about this one, GDS? See the breakout area? Let me draw it for you. And there's that Dexcom. So you see the breakout area? So I can actually go in here. Now I have companies that are about to break out. Now, me personally, I still want to see some of these ETFs break out first before I start picking individual stocks. And if I go to charts, it gives me all of them. See that? Now let me go to my next portfolio. My next portfolio of holdings, because there's only 50 in each one. PHI is about to break out. Let me go there and look at PHI. Here's your breakout at 26.5. But do you see how fast that is to find candidates? So I'm not giving you one pick. I'm giving you a way to find the ones that are about to take off. So your money's not just sitting there forever. And you can add to these portfolios if you want. And just like, watch, here's 3 of 3 right here. Let's say I want to add, let's see how many are below. These are 0 to 10% below. Now, if I go back to any, here's a whole portfolio here. I can actually come in here and go, you know what? On my portfolio, let me go back to this. I'm going to edit. I can add another company in here. I can add one in here and save it as you start thinking of companies. But I'm going to go back to my portfolio here and check this out. I'm also going to do this. Which one of these are financially, as an investor, which one of these are actually good for, I don't know, value plays fundamentally? Right now, fundamentally, I'm looking at the PEG ratio. We'll get into fundamentals on a different class. I like these ones under 1.5. So I might build a watch list of these 3. So not only am I getting one on a breakout, but I know they're good fundamentals. And I go through my, now I'll go through my watch list here and say, what's the best of this portfolio? Do you guys see the PEG ratio? Somebody tell me, what are the best 3 companies fundamentally that I'm seeing here? So now I just picked out about 10 companies that are value plays of the 5G. I've broken the 5G to value plays. That way, if I want to be an investor for a long term, I don't get somebody like Kodak. I've got some, look at this right here, STM. Because maybe I want to compare CCI and American Tower. Maybe, so let me go back to that. Which tower company is better? So let's see, I go to my towers here. Fundamentally might be the tiebreaker. Here's, let me do it by ticker here. AMT, American Tower, a PEG of 2.71, but CCI, a PEG of 4. American Tower is way better value, fundamentally. So if I have to pick on one breaking out, fundamentally, a fundamentalist would pick AMT. So you can sort of, but also I can look over here and say, you know, on this here, looking at all the different, I could put anything in here. I'm going to look at shares outstanding. See the shares outstanding? What's the difference here? Now, this is another big thing. The supply and demand is going to affect. When Apple breaks out, there's 4.5 billion shares. That's a lot of shares. It takes a lot of demand to move that stock. That stock's not going to move as fast or big as a company with less shares. See the outstanding shares, 23 million here. This kind of company will move bigger. Why? There's less shares out there. They turn hands faster. You're going to get bigger moves percent-wise. These are the companies that can double, triple, quadruple easier than Apple. I'm not saying Apple can't double or triple, but these are the companies that can double and triple better. Now you put that together with the fundamentals and everything else, and now you have some quality to your picks. Does that make sense? So now what I'm going to do, guys, is you see all these right here. I'm going to, here's my watch list. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put this in YouTube. And since you're live here, you can copy and paste it. But guess what? If you're watching this later, you're not going to be able to. Oh, I can't put it in YouTube. You know why I know it? Too many characters. I cannot put this watch list in there. So guess what? Tomorrow on the lounge,
Come to the lounge.
How to do it. I'll show you how to do it for free on the lounge. I cannot put these in there because YouTube is not allowing me to put that much data. So Noah, I'm going to let you take over. Can you tell them real quickly? Now, real quickly, a couple questions, guys. Did you learn something today? Yes or no? Okay, I'm going to wait for that. I'm waiting for it. Now you know what? When to buy the high flyers when they turn into high flyers. Don't guess ahead of time because there's over 100 companies to choose from. Thank you, Linda. That's a big hell yes from Linda. Number 2, your money doesn't need to be sitting there in somebody's guess. Now, how about this question? Was this worth the price? Yes or no? Did I try to sell you $1,000 stock pick? What's the rule? What is the rule I said? Remember one of the rules I wrote down? I typed it in the page. What was it? Does somebody remember? One of the rules was what? Never ever, in this time and day, never ever pay for someone's guess. I don't care if they're professional. Now, maybe Warren Buffett, but here's the thing. Warren Buffett won't even charge you for his picks. If Warren Buffett, the best investor of our decade and forever, if he's the best at stock picking before stock breaks out, he actually picks them when they're on the way down. If he doesn't charge you for a pick, why would you pay somebody else? So guys, that's why it's not about the stock picks. It's about how to trade them. Now, what's nice is this. When these guys do signal, guys, when these do signal, we have a lounge every day. We're going to show you how we trade them with options, how we cash flow from them, how we put in our stop losses, how we put in our triggers. And this watch list, we're even going to post on our website at Tackle Trading. Let me just show you that real quickly. And I'm going to share you guys a link so you can get this all as a trial if you're not a member yet. So you can get it for free. So check this out. We have a lot of lists, but every week we put out our stock report. And right now in our stock report, check this out. What do we have on the most recent? We have exactly what we just talked about, our 5G list. The 5G list is already down there for you. And we go over this all the time. We also have a coronavirus list. We have ETF list. We have a bunch of different stock lists. We even have options list, commodities, and Forex. So Noah, that's all I have, guys. I want to bow out and turn it over to Noah. And thank you for listening. Please comment and follow us on the like there on YouTube. It's been my pleasure. I hope I helped you guys out. Let me know if you like this system. It is very simple to do. And again, very affordable.
Well, we just want to invite everybody to come out and join us, take advantage of our 15-day free trial, get to know us better. And, we've got a lot of pro members here already, Gino. I know that just looking at the names, of course, a lot of good folks that we recognize. We got Keith and Linda and Jimbo. Give us a shout out. Hashtag, what do we call it? Team Tackle, if you're a member of Team Tackle. And again, we're not a high pressure sales outfit. We have a modest subscription of $97 a month, really just to be a member of our community. We put out our scouting reports, but that's only a small fraction of the value. What you really get is the community, the strategy playbook. You get the trading lounges, you get the coaches show, which by the way, I'm going to be late tonight to the Tackle 25 show because we're all here, right? So we're going to get started with that Tackle 25 coaches show here in a minute. But just come out, join us, get to know us, take advantage of the 15-day free trial. If you're new to trading and investing, you'll want to go through the free courses we got on Technical Analysis 101, on Options 101 if you're new to options. And if you're looking for just kind of the real deal, This is not smoke and mirrors. This is not get rich quick. This is just the right way to do things. It's putting education before application, learning how to identify the right opportunities and to pair it with the right strategies. And that's really where the value is, the one thing to have the scouting report, that's fine. It's another thing to know how to manage it, how to adjust it, how to hedge it, how to protect yourself, how to maximize those gains, how to lock in those profits. And that's really where we excel, right? So yes, Emily's famous. We got Jake, you got them all. So we will see you guys. Come join us again. Click on the link in the chat there. 15-day free trial. We're going to hold your hand, walk you through, show you how to use the website, show you how to maximize that information. And you can go through those courses and get a little training on technical analysis. So we will see you all.
Yes.
Tomorrow in the lounge.
You got the link in there?
I put the link in a couple times. I'll drop it in one more time. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to log off here.
Hey, can you paste that into YouTube?
I have been. Yep. It's there. It's there. So click on it. We're going to log off here and we're going to log back on to another Zoom meeting for our pro members. We're going to go through some Tackle 25 covered calls. I'm going to talk to you guys about how to play defense on your covered calls because the market's been running up, but we might see a little bit of need for defense here in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to learn how to protect and how to keep the gains that you've been making in this recent market rally. So
and real quickly, don't forget tomorrow's lounge, specifically tomorrow, I will be putting those 3 portfolios into the software and showing you step-by-step how to do it and track it so you can do it tomorrow and again in the future. So if you're a member in our lounge, just ask me how to do it. So we'll be able to coach you on that. And so I'll have all that tomorrow. That will be at 11 o'clock Eastern, just so everybody knows. So if you sign up right now for the free trial, I'll show you how to do that. And you guys won't miss out on the 5G rally if and when it kicks off.
Absolutely. And if you did miss half the presentation, like I did, Hussein, just wait a minute and we'll catch the replay there on YouTube. It'll be replaying here in a minute. So you can catch from the beginning. And if you're a pro member, just come join me in the Tackle 25 meeting room here in a minute. We're going to see you guys there. We're going to have a great night. We'll see you there.
See you there, Noah. Thanks.
See you guys.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks a lot.